We are not all equally responsible for climate change. The top richest 1% of the world are responsible for over half of all global emissions, and the bottom, poorest half of the world are responsible for less than 1% of all emissions. And the impacts from climate change fall overwhelmingly on the global south. In the next few decades, 500 million people will lose their homes. Vast swathes of sub-Saharan Africa, the Middle East and North Africa will become uninhabitable. 700 million people will fall back into poverty. Climate change is the largest attack on the global poor by the wealthy in human history.
We're losing the war really, really badly. So I've spent a lot of time wondering, thinking about why that is. Why, despite all our efforts, are we still seeing the destruction of nature accelerate?
We are here to say there is a massive problem. We are all shit scared. The government isn't doing anything to help us or protect us. And we think a citizens' assembly is the way forward.
Our assumptions as scientists are false. The theory of change we use, the way we think science and research and information influences change is based on a false assumption. We've always felt that if we as scientists generate information, then our leaders will use that information to make wise decisions. But governments are not listening to us. I think there's a number of reasons why governments are incapable of making the decisions that we need to plot a path out of this awful, awful mess we find ourselves in. They have no incentive to think decades ahead because they won't get the personal reward for the benefits of the decisions they make now. Governments do not listen to scientists. Scientists have been warning about the climate crisis for 30 years. We've been warning about the ecological crisis for over 100 years.
Climate change is just the latest result of a system that we've had for centuries, and it's important to understand that.
Governments respond to lobby groups. They don't respond to the people, the voters, the citizens.
These decisions cannot be made by our politicians. They are here short term, they are worried about their political careers, they are not experts, they don't understand our lives.
We are here right now because our government isn't listening to us. We are here right now because they're not listening to our voices, to the voices of marginalized communities and to the voices of young people. We cannot let anyone silence us, and we will not sell our futures in the name of economic goals and prosperity. So I'm going to just pass this back, but please guys, just remember why you're here.
We think ordinary people, people of this country, need to be involved with making the decisions on what we are going to do.
The idea of deliberation is that it's, as was said at the beginning, radically inclusive. It often can be more nuanced, it can be more thoughtful, and also I think this is the biggest reason for me. It helps build democratic faith. So what I mean by that is not just faith in the systems of democracy, it means faith in each other and in your own capacity to deliberate.
We've seen through this pandemic that actually, left to our own devices, communities really are full of untapped assets and strengths. We need to tap into those more.
I think deliberation is important because also people learn things. Like, this is something that's often forgotten. It's not just about also people having their voices heard, it's about people actually learning things, and I've learned a lot as being a facilitator in these debates as well. So we all need to learn more about not only the what we need to change, how we address the climate and ecological emergency, but how we actually do it. And we're not used to building that muscle. We're not used to practicing good deliberation and good democracy.
We don't have all the answers. Democracy is about all of us, and democracy isn't just about making decisions, it's about the feeling of having some agency again, of having a way to influence the decisions that are happening around you.
If there are people in this country who are going to, for example, lose their jobs because they are carbon emission intensive, it means that we need to make a plan with them, for them, on how they are going to be able to continue to live good lives. Citizens' assemblies are about not leaving anybody behind and making sure it's just and fair. We are asking specifically for a citizens' assembly on climate and ecological justice. Justice for our planet, but also justice for our people.